Hey guys, welcome back. I get a lot of viewer mail about what's going on the layout, so today I'm going to do a video update on what's going on my layout and some of the tweaks I've made. We're also going to talk about one of my favorite things in model railroading, and that's shooting a scene. As you can see in my videos running Trains, Trains and More Trains, Volume 1 and 2, I like taking the camera, getting it down to track level, and shooting a scene that's somewhat realistic and getting different scenes from my layout. Well, today, the Atlas passenger station, it's a built-up kit, and the terminals are going to be the star of today's video. And I'm going to tell you guys how to make a scene and some of the things you can do to make it more realistic. On top of that, we'll be talking about the Cold Train from Intermountain. Now, this is an old set that's been released a while ago. These are old pieces of rolling stock over a year ago. But we're going to be talking about how to model things in your area. So with that said, let's get started with the layout update. You guys don't get to see my overall layout that much, so let's go ahead and do that while I tell you what's new. The UFO is still there, the cow's still in the process of being abducted. They're the slowest aliens in the history of aliens, but that's what they're doing, and that hasn't changed at all. But what has changed is I've added some bushes back here from Woodland Scenics to cover up the little bit of white space because the backdrop didn't meet the grass, so I wanted to cover that up to make it look more realistic. You still got the crop circle that the aliens left behind. I guess the farmer gave up on fixing his land. The planted corn, things like that. This Woodland Scenics Community Church is fairly new. I did a review on it a few months ago. There's some figures and cows and stuff laying around here. The crossing hasn't changed much at all. It's still there. Crossing gates still work. I just have them down right now. Wind turbines still there, still work. Just haven't put them into motion because I just don't feel like it. They kind of make noise. There's a billboard from IKEA says, "Come check out our stool samples." That's still there. I do need to cover up the base to kind of add it more realistic since it's a different shade of green. Here is the passenger station we were talking about. I've got the BLMA signal still here, but this passenger station, for those of you that really like it, is Atlas item number 606, and then additional platforms, item number 607. These are built up, ready to go. I just placed them on my layout with a little bit of tweaking. Now, the platform, it comes with one little platform. The first one you see right here, that's all it comes with the passenger station. And then I added 3. Each kit comes with 2, or each container. It's built up, so I wouldn't really call it a kit. Moving over here, still DCS Commander MRC Project Advanced Wireless going on. Nothing's changed with the scene back here on the lake or the river, even though I did take away the boat guy. Still working on passenger fleet stuff, adding to my intermodal, and I picked up about 12 passenger cars in the last week or so. Here's something new. This is a wooden water tower. Basically, this is for steam operations. You see them on older farms and different older abandoned lines, so it's not really my era, but I figured since I have steam, what the heck. Over here, I've got a roundhouse and a turntable. Nothing's really changed about that, but I have programmed all the tracks, and I've also added a diagram. It's on nice little glossy paper that shows all the tracks so I don't have to remember them when I use this controller over here, because there's no real way to manually change these tracks. You kind of have to program them to get the turntable to go where it belongs. So I've added that. This scene is about the same over here. Little guy working in his yard. Stuff going on in the backyard over here. This little house and fenced in area. Back here is still my workstation. As you can see, picked up a couple pieces of rolling stock for my cousin at the train show. Well, one of them I'm just giving him, the other one I picked up. That's a nickel plate 759 caboose from Atlas. He wants that because it's in our original hometown. Guys, that's about it with the layout. Not a whole lot else has changed. You see the signs here from rebelrails.com I picked up, modeling or showing every road that I model all along the side here. Amtrak way down there. I've still got my shelves here and my display here with all the stuff in it. So lots of pieces of rolling stock and locomotives The boxes I keep under the layout, and some of the boxes are still up here, but I've cleared out some areas so I can put some of the things I like to run the most, like the Superliner cars, the auto rack cars, and things like that. And back over here real quick, I still have a lot of my locomotives out on the shelf. Mostly the ones I like to run the most. Some of them are boxed, but a lot of them are shelved. Okay, so with that said, now I want to talk about some of the items I picked up. A lot of people ask me, what's the best way to go about modeling things in your area? And it's really a simple answer. As you see here, I've got these cold train cars from Intermountain, and I decided to pick these up from a dealer network of emails I have because they're hard to find now. But I decided to pick these up because I was driving along the highway and I saw these cars sitting in the yard. So the simplest way to model stuff from where you're from is just to go out and watch what's out there. So I know a lot of people are thinking duh right now, but that's about it. So those cold train cars are another addition because I saw them on the side of the rail yard, and that's why I've got like over 200-300 pieces of rolling stock right now, because every time I go out there I see something different. I'm like, is this made? If it is, I gotta have it, and that's what happened in this case. Now you may see over here these realistic backgrounds. These are from a company called realisticbackgrounds.com, as you can see right there, and they're all along my layout. But I purchased these because I'm going to be doing a video of the passenger station and showing you guys how to model a realistic scene. Now there's a lot of things I'm missing, but there's going to be some stuff I've covered. So let's go ahead and go over here and we'll talk about it. First suggestion for modeling a realistic scene is to get rid of the figurines. From a distance they look fine, but the little painted figures, no matter how well done they are, when you start to zoom in, if you got a closer up scene or a close-up scene, you can definitely tell that's not realistic. The guy's not moving, he's just standing there, and his face isn't painted, or it's not painted that well. So there's no way to get these little figurines to look realistic. If you want to be a green screen magician and put real people in there, that's one thing. But with a close-up scene, I say take away all the figurines. Another thing you want to do is use those realistic backgrounds like you see here. On my Running Trains, Trains, and More Trains, Volume 1 and 2, I take videos at track level with these backgrounds because they look realistic. A lot of people, compliment me on how realistic my bridge scene looks, especially at certain angles. And that's a lot to do with the background and a lot to do with the shiny appearance of the water and the bridge. Now I realize I'm missing weathering on the rolling stock, on the locomotives, graffiti, things like that. But with this passenger train, it doesn't matter because most passenger trains, especially the UP one, does not have any graffiti or weathering. They keep them nice and clean. So at the end of this video, I'm going to show you the scene from this passenger station of the California Zephyr set coming up and pulling off. Another thing about doing scenes like that is you want to bring the locomotives and everything they're pulling to a realistic speed. So when you're approaching the station, don't stop on a dime. Slowly come to a stop. It may not be perfect because it's a model, but you get my point. And don't take off to where you'd break all the HO scale models' necks in the passenger cars. So you're going to want to go slow. Look up some of the cool little tidbits about trains. For example, when a train comes to a stop, it blows its horn once. When it takes off, it blows its horn twice. So one long one for a stop, two long ones for a departure. So things like that can bring your videos to cool realism. Like I said, mine's definitely not perfect, but it's a cool level of realism that makes it look neat. So with that said, guys, that's about it for my tips for how to make your videos look real. Always remember you want to go at track level. Always remember you don't want anything in the background that may give away that it's not a actual train. Like if I have that brick or those shells in the background, that's a dead giveaway. So get an angle or a track level view to where things will start looking realistic. Again, nothing's perfect, but you can have a good time in the process. It's one of my favorite things to do, and I may add a parking lot right here later on, but I just put this up a couple days ago. Alright guys, let's wrap this video up. Well, I hope you enjoyed the overview of the layout and the updates I've made to the layout, as well as how to model rolling stock in your area and how to shoot a scene. I do want to add a couple things about how to shoot a scene. Lighting is a very important part of how to shoot a scene, as well as camera angle, and I didn't mention either of those. Also, if you don't have a layout to shoot a scene on, check out your local model railroad club. There's model railroading clubs all over the country, and they have them available for very nominal fee. Like the one here is only $30 for the entire year. And there's one model railroad club I've been in contact with from Southern California. So if you guys are in the Southern California area, Bakersfield, California has the GEHAMS Model Railroad Club, and you can go to their website at gehams.net. I call them GAHAMS, but you know, I'm sure that's not what they're called. And that stands for Golden Empire Historical and Modeling Society. Now they've got a pretty impressive layout, and I've seen a lot of areas where you could shoot a really great scene on their layout if you're in that area. So be sure to check them out and check out their website if you're from the Bakersfield area, or even if you're visiting their area. Well guys, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for watching my videos. I will leave you with the scene that I've completed. Again, not perfect, but it's a good scene of the California Zephyr arriving and or departing the station. And I hope you enjoyed my video. Thanks for watching, and as always, we'll see you next time right here on my channel. Take care.